to our professor in GE 101, Dr. Jocelyn A. Iturralde, to my fellow classmates, friends, guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. The power of speaking. The power of speaking distinguishes man from the animal. By nature, men are sociable because he interacts with his fellow human being through the power of speaking. A parrot may utter limited words but does not understand what he is doing. It simply imitates without understanding of what man tells it to repeat. Only man has the power of speaking. He not only talks but also speaks. In other words, he understands what he is saying and expects others to understand his message. No man is an island. Man cannot live alone. He has to communicate with the other man. That's why, if he wants to make friends, if he wants the things he needs, if he wants to succeed, he has to develop the power of speaking. Another term of speaking is speech. A person's speech tells a great deal about him. It shows his personality and education, his understanding of people, and his respect from himself and others. A good speech depends on what it's said and how it's said. Speech is made up of sound blended into syllables, of syllables blended into words, of words blended into phrases, of phrases blended into clauses, of clauses blended into paragraphs, which form a composition. The final blending must be acceptable to the listeners. Listeners are attracted or irritated by a speaker's voice. Voice has pitch which may be too low, too high, monotonous, or expressive. Voice has volume which may be too loud, too weak, unchanging, or adequate. Voice has quality which may be clear or unpleasant, nasal, or husky. The speaker must use a clear, pleasant voice and say his words distinctly and loudly enough so that his listeners can understand him. The voice of the speaker must be modulated or controlled. He must be avoid speak in harsh, high-pitch or low-pitch manner. He must speak in a slow and deliberate way. But there are times when he has to raise his voice to stress or emphasize what he wants to say. He must observe correct pronunciation, diction, intonation, and pause. He must have enough air coming from his diaphragm to sustain the loudness and volume of his voice. Lastly, the speaker must be able to communicate with his audience to make his speech effective.